Hi, Virgo. Welcome back. I'm Anna, and if you're here, something called you. Trust that. Hmm. Okay. Recognition lives in your cells right now. That strange electric sensation when someone looks at you and sees, really sees, not the mask, not the performance, but the raw truth underneath. You might have encountered someone recently who doesn't let you hide. So let's see what this energy brings. Matching isn't what you thought it was, is it? You imagined it would feel comfortable, safe, like puzzle pieces sliding together effortlessly. But M, this feels more like lightning, recognizing lightning. Two forces that illuminate and ignite simultaneously. Comfort isn't the signature here. Awakening is, hold on, let's sit with this for a moment. What I'm picking up on is mirroring. Someone might have entered your field who reflects back aspects of yourself you've kept hidden. Not just your light, your shadow too, your edges, your contradictions, the parts you've learned to apologize for or minimize. And they're not asking you to change those parts. They're matching them, meeting them, standing in them without flinching. That kind of acceptance can feel more dangerous than rejection because it removes your excuses, your armor, your carefully constructed reasons for keeping distance between yourself and full embodiment. When someone sees you completely and doesn't retreat, is less than #0. 5 hash is greater than what defense remains. Here's what's interesting about meeting your match. It could happen romantically, and for many of you, it might be. But matching isn't limited to romance. It could be a friend, a creative collaborator, a mirror in human form who shows up precisely when you're ready to see yourself clearly. The form matters less than the function, and the function is transformation. What does it feel like when someone matches your intensity instead of asking you to dim it? Let me tell you what happens when equals meet. The usual power dynamics don't work. You can't use charm to manipulate because they see through it. Can't use withdrawal to control because they're comfortable with space. Can't perform because they recognize performance instantly. You're left with only one option: authenticity. And if you've spent years perfecting strategies that avoid authenticity, this person might be dismantling your entire approach to connection. Not through criticism, through their simple refusal to engage with anything that isn't real. They could be teaching you honesty by embodying it. I'm sensing something about challenge right now. This person, whoever they are, might challenge you in ways that feel uncomfortable, not through aggression, but through their own self possession, their clarity, their unwillingness to settle for surface level interaction. And being challenged by an equal feels different than being challenged by someone you can dismiss. You can't dismiss them because some part of you recognizes they're showing you what's possible, what you're capable of becoming. Let's talk about what your life will never be the same actually means. Because it's not about external circumstances necessarily, though those might shift too. It's about internal recalibration. Once you've been met at your actual level, returning to relationships that ask you to shrink becomes unbearable. Your tolerance for misalignment, might be evaporating. And that intolerance could create disruption in other areas of your life. Friendships that felt fine suddenly feel hollow. Work that felt acceptable suddenly feels deadening. Patterns that felt normal suddenly feel like prisons. Because this person, this match, is showing you what alignment actually feels like. And once you taste alignment, dissonance becomes impossible to ignore. Let's see what else is here. I'm picking up on fear mixed with exhilaration, because meeting your match means you can't hide anymore, can't play small, can't pretend you're less than you are. And if you've used smallness as protection, this dynamic might be stripping that protection away, leaving you exposed, vulnerable, visible in ways that feel simultaneously terrifying and liberating. What I'm also sensing, this person could be teaching you about reciprocity, real reciprocity, not the transactional kind where you keep score, but the organic kind where energy flows both directions without monitoring or measuring. You might be learning what it feels like to receive as much as you give. And if you've spent years giving more than you receive, true reciprocity might feel foreign, strange, almost suspicious, like waiting for the moment they ask you to return to overfunctioning. But that moment might never come because they're meeting you as an equal, not as a project. How would your life change if you stopped overfunctioning in relationships? Here I'm sensing something about activation. This person's presence might be activating dormant parts of you, dreams you shelved, desires you suppressed, versions of yourself you abandoned to maintain peace in unequal dynamics. And activation isn't always comfortable. It can feel destabilizing, like waking up parts of yourself that have been sleeping for years. They're disoriented, unsure how to function in current reality, but they're waking up nonetheless. Let me tell you what matching energy actually looks like. It's not sameness. Two people don't need identical personalities or interests to match. They need equivalent capacity, equivalent depth, equivalent willingness to be real even when real is messy. This person might be completely different from you, but their capacity to hold complexity, to embrace paradox, to exist in uncertainty without collapsing that might match yours perfectly. I'm also picking up on something about playfulness. Strange to mention given the intensity I'm sensing, but matches often bring levity. Because when you're not performing, not managing, not tiptoeing, there's space for joy, for spontaneity, for lightness that isn't forced. You might be laughing more, feeling more alive, more present, because presence becomes possible when you're not constantly monitoring how you're being perceived. Here's something else I'm sensing. This person could be showing you your own worth by treating you like you're valuable, not through grand gestures necessarily, through consistency, through showing up, through seeing you on difficult days and not withdrawing. And that steady presence might be unfamiliar. You might be waiting for the other shoe to drop. For the moment they realize you're too much and leave, but that moment might keep not coming. Because to them, you're not too much, you're exactly right. What would it mean to trust that someone can handle all of you? Let's talk about what happens to your other relationships when you meet your match. They might start feeling different. Some might deepen. People who are capable of growth might rise to meet your new frequency. Others might naturally fade. People who are comfortable with the old version might not know how to relate to the emerging one. And that natural selection process can be painful, even when it's necessary, even when it's healthy, because you might grieve connections that can't evolve with you. I'm picking up on something about creativity right now. Meeting your match might be unlocking creative energy that's been dormant, because creativity requires safety, requires permission to be messy and experimental and uncertain. And this person could be providing that safety. Not by managing your emotions or solving your problems, but by witnessing without judgment, by creating space where you can explore without performance. What I'm also sensing, some of you might be experiencing physical symptoms. Activation can be somatic. Your body might be processing the shift before your mind catches up. Disrupted sleep, changed appetite, energy fluctuations, heightened sensitivity. Your nervous system is recalibrating, adjusting to a new baseline where you're not constantly in survival mode, where connection doesn't equal danger. And that adjustment takes time. Here's what else I'm picking up on. This match might be forcing you to confront your own unavailability, the ways you've protected yourself by keeping one foot out the door, the escape routes you've maintained even in close relationships. And with this person, those escape routes might feel less appealing. Not because they're demanding anything, but because something in you wants to stay, wants to be fully present, wants to risk the vulnerability of complete availability. That desire might be as terrifying as it is thrilling. Let me tell you something about life never being the same. It's not dramatic upheaval necessarily, though for some it might be. It's more like the lens through which you see everything has shifted. Colors are more vivid, contrasts are sharper. You notice details you missed before, because meeting your match wakes you up. And waking up changes how you move through every moment. What are you noticing now that you couldn't see before? As I'm closing this reading, I want you to understand something. If you've met your match, this isn't about them completing you. You're already complete. This is about them witnessing your completeness, reflecting it back, celebrating it. And that celebration might be teaching you to celebrate yourself, which is the real transformation. Not becoming different, but becoming more fully who you already are, without apology, without shrinking, without the constant internal negotiation about whether you're too much or not enough. You're meeting yourself through meeting them. And that meeting, that recognition of your own power, your own depth, your own worthiness of equal partnership that changes everything. Not because your circumstances transform overnight, but because you transform, and transformed people create transformed realities. Thank you for being here. If this resonated, share in the comments, have you met someone recently who matches your frequency? What's awakening in you? The match is the mirror. What you see in them is what's possible in you.